Next will be South Carolina's Shane Beamer. The Gamecocks are open this week prior to their game versus Florida next weekend. To ask a question for Coach Beamer, please press 10 on your telephone's keypad now. And, Coach, while we wait on any questions, if you could take a moment to comment on your team as you enter the open date.
Sure. Middle of the open date for us. We've had 3 good days of practice. Certainly this open date could not be coming at a better time. We're beat up, to say the least, and gives us an opportunity to get some guys healthy and some other guys that have been playing healthier, and then really to kind of just step back and reevaluate where we are after 5 games and what we need to do to perform better here these last 7 games.
For questions, press 10, and we'll begin with Hale McGranahan of 24/7 Sports.
Hey, Shane, hope you're doing well today.
Same to you, Hale.
Thank you, sir. Just wanted to see what you guys have seen since you've stepped back and tried to assess things. What's sort of been the take as you guys have evaluated the first 5 games?
Yeah, a lot. You look back schematically, are we doing the things that we need to be doing in all 3 phases? It may be schematically something that we want to do that we maybe just don't have the personnel quite for right now. So we've done that in all 3 phases. You look at personnel. Are there some guys that maybe haven't been playing that can help us? This is a week to get them opportunities to see what they can do. Are there guys that have been playing that maybe would be better suited to play somewhere different at that position? Those are things you look at and really just get back to work. So I'd say there's been a lot of things in all 3 phases. I'll wait till after the Florida game to talk more specifically about those things, but certainly feel like we've gotten better as a team during these 3 days, and really appreciate the effort and the energy that our players have practiced with the last 3 days. They've been fantastic and have a great eagerness and desire to improve.
Next is Dan Harrelson of USA Today.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well.
You too. Thanks.
Thank you. Want to get your thoughts in practice with the Guardian caps that you guys wear, just your thoughts on it and maybe some of the benefits for your team wearing that.
Probably a better question for our trainer. We've been wearing them for a while. Other schools that I've been, we wore them at other schools that I've been as well. And, it's just another, we're always about player safety, and it's another layer of protection for our guys.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Ryan Hunt of the AP and Kelly Show.
Mr. Hunt, are you muted?
Ryan, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Sorry about that. Obviously on a bye week, with your philosophies and the way you approach the game, are you preparing 2 weeks in advance for your opponent, or is this a week where you're going to go out and recruit some local talent around the country?
All the above. It's certainly a recruiting week for our staff. We, our guys will hit the road recruiting here this week. It's a week to get ourselves better, so we've certainly have spent the bulk of our time on us, and we've certainly introduced Florida, to our players. I think you got to be careful about spending too much time on one opponent going into when you have 2 weeks to prepare for them. So we've introed them, but we've tried to, the same schedule that we've had the last 2 seasons during our open week, as far as meeting times, practice times, everything's a little bit shorter. But great work. Thank you. Great work on the field and on the field and in the meeting room as well. And then we just finished practice this morning. Our players will be off football-wise until Sunday, and then our coaches will be able to hit the road recruiting here the rest of the week.
Perfect. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next is Steve Moulton at WZZN.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well today. Always appreciate the time, sir.
You bet. Thank you, Steve.
In terms of self-assessing, how important is kind of breaking those tendency to be equal across the plane, both offensively and defensively during this bye week? Just to self-assess, Coach.
To break tendencies, you say?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. No, it's critical, and it's something that we try and do each week, not just wait until, the open week. I mean, every game we're trying to break tendencies, whether it be how we line up to punt the ball, our team's getting a beat on anything that we're doing, defensively what we're doing, offensively with formations or play calling, whatever it might be. So we look at that every single week from a self-scout standpoint. But when you have the open week, you have more time to really, dive into that, any tendencies that you might have. But then, two, how we're going to continue to get ourselves better, schematically, personnel, all the things along those lines.
With all that is changing in this sport, I noticed the D1 Council approved changes. It's not stamped and done yet, but what would the portal going from 60 to 45 days do, you think, to college football, Coach?
It would help it. I think everybody's in agreement that it's the window is too long as it is. I mean, I would be in favor of just continuing to shorten it. I mean, to me, if a guy is planning on transferring from your program, he knows that when the window opens and doesn't necessarily need 45 days or 30 days or whatever it might be to figure that out. For us, the season ends. We have end-of-season meetings with our players, and they have a pretty good idea of where they stand and vice versa. So we always try to have open and honest communication with our players, and I think it'd be great, in favor of it. And I would say most coaches across the country would say the same, and same thing for the players too. Certainly want them to have the freedom that they need to have in order to do the things that they want to do that's best for their career, but also trying to help them with that process also.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Follow up from Hale McGranahan.
Hey, Shane, I was just curious to hear what things were looking like with some of the guys who have been banged up. And I know each guy's case-by-case basis, but do you all approach those as like, hey, let's just rest some of these guys or try to get them some work? How's that kind of look this week?
It's a little bit of both. There's nobody on our team that we've practiced that has gone through the last 3 days where we said, okay, we're not going to let this guy get any work this week, because I told him in the locker room after the Tennessee game, this is a week we've got to work and we have to get better. But you also want to be smart. When you look at defensively, Tonka and Boogie on the defensive line are pretty banged up, so they got some work this week, but it wasn't like they were taking every rep. It's an opportunity for our young defensive tackles to get work this week. Trey Knox at tight end, he practiced this week. He's pretty beat up, so we limited what he did, but then gave some of our younger tight ends opportunities to get better. Spencer Rattler practiced every day this week. He took a little bit of a beating the other night, but we were able to get other quarterbacks some work as well. So everyone practiced. Nobody that we said, hey, take these 3 days off and rest up, but certainly we were smart with our guys too, getting them work, but also getting them healthy.